From there, we have conclusion. Let's see. Since p-value, which is 0.064, is greater than alpha, level, which is 0.05, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Okay. Therefore, we lack or do not have enough, sufficient, or any wording like that would work. We lack sufficient evidence to show this, in words, to show that the true mean for calcium, the true mean of, what were we measuring here? What were we measuring?
The difference between
Blood pressure. There we go. Yeah, blood pressure. Right? The true mean systolic blood pressure for the people who received calcium supplement is greater than that of those who did not receive the calcium supplement. Something like that in those, not necessarily in those words, but in best words as you can. Okay? We want to show that, we want to, again, when we're writing that, we want to write, this is what we're trying to say in words right here. This is what we're trying to say in words there. Either we have evidence to show that, or we don't have evidence to show that. Either way, though, you want to say in words what this guy is. You want to say greater because it's greater. And then you want to say in words like that. You can combine them. You could say the true proportion of people who had the calcium versus who didn't is greater, their blood pressure is greater than those who didn't have the supplement. Any way you want to word it is up to you. Just make sure it makes sense to you. I can't tell you how many of these I read and it doesn't make any sense. And I doubt it would make sense to you if you read it. But I think, you're just, some of you just jot down some stuff. Well, someone's going to read it. Always, when you write something down, always assume that someone's going to read it. So reread it. And if it makes sense to you, they're good. If it doesn't, clean it up a little bit. Okay, let's see. To show that the true or let me word it this way. To show that blood pressure let's see, what's the best way I can word it in the least amount of words? Blood pressure for those who took calcium supplement versus those who did not. Let's see, show that blood pressure for those who took calcium say it again.
The ones that took calcium is more effective.
There you go. That's actually probably the best way to do it. Yeah, I was trying to come up with a way, one sentence. There's a reason I don't teach English. I can't come up with that stuff. You guys are way better at that than me. Okay, to show that calcium is more effective than the placebo, right? I would say that's probably the best way to show that. For lower blood pressure, calcium supplement are better than placebos. Yep. We don't have evidence to show that. I don't have evidence to show that calcium is better than just nothing. Okay. That's what I was trying to say. I think that's the best wording. Yeah. Right. We're trying to look at effectiveness. Okay. But like I said, just make sure you reread it. If it makes sense to you, good. If it doesn't make sense to you, kind of clean it up because sometimes the wording is a little hard on there. Okay. You want to get your point across. You've done all the work, you've done all the hard stuff. You just want to get your point across as best as you can to sum it all up. Okay. And like I said, you guys are better than that than I am because, words aren't necessarily my thing. All right. Okay. So one last thing, and then we'll be done with this. So go to the third page, I believe it is. The third page right here. Okay, so same thing as last 10.1 with proportions. It's the same thing, right? The first bullet point talks about shape, right? We know how to determine shape, right? Shape is determined by one of three ways. Right here, right? Condition number 3, right? We talked about that. For proportions, it's either they stated it's normally distributed, they didn't, but each group is bigger than 30, so CLT, central limit theorem, or we show a graph, right? That's what the first bullet point says. The second bullet point says the mean. The mean. So if I was to get a bunch of samples and subtract them from each other, what would the true mean of those subtracted numbers be? Well, it's the same thing as the true mean of one versus the true mean of the other. Okay? And then the last bullet point is the standard deviation formula. The standard deviation formula. Okay? That's on the bottom of the one we just did. It's right there. And at the bottom. Okay? Okay, so last thing. Do example number 1, and then we will be done. And then we're going to do one more thing, we'll be done. Okay, so is shape normal? Yes, because it's stated as normal. The population stated as normal. So if population stated as normal, we're good. Yes, populations stated as normal. Okay. The true mean. Well, the true mean is going to be the true mean of one minus the true mean of the other. 27 minus 17, 10. So the true difference is 10 between the two sizes. And then the last one, calculate and interpret the standard deviation. So I just use the formula. But interpreting it is going to involve some thought first, right? Because we know standard deviation is on average, how far does this number vary from the mean, right? Well, first of all, what's the mean? 10. So this is 0.2. 0.2 what? Okay. So 0.2 ounces from the mean, what varies? Okay, so this is ounces. What does it represent? In context. Always in context. There you go. The difference. We got to put that word difference in there. So it's the difference. The mean is the difference in large versus medium. So this is going to be on average how far each sample, each difference in the samples is from the mean, which is 10. Okay. They're both ounces, but they're differences. They're differences in means. They're not necessarily one number. They're subtracting. So the true, let's see, not the true. On average, each sample will differ by about 0.205 ounces from the mean. 10 ounces. Okay. Yeah, we definitely want to put same old stuff before, but we also want to put difference. This is large minus medium. Okay, so something to that effect. Something to that effect. That this number represents a subtraction. Okay. Okay, so last thing. I didn't want to give you an assignment because I already gave you one yesterday. We'll do it on Monday.